Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Airport CEO and welcome back to Belfast International Airport. Things are going pretty well at the moment. We are just shy of $13.5 million. We have so many people coming and going at the moment. There are currently 3,355 passengers in the airport, 481 members of staff, and that's not even enough. We have apparently 209 bags roaming around somewhere, right? I don't know what this means. There's 3,708 of them being carried. I guess 209 are on conveyor belts is what we're dealing with right now. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's very exciting. 31 planes to the ground, 132 vehicles. I definitely can't complain. But all of that efficiency, we'll call it efficiency. I mean, things get a little bit busy down here from time to time. All of that efficiency is going to be challenged today, because today is the day that we sit down and finally start working on a large international aircraft terminal. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, we're going to be cheating. We're going to be cheating a little bit. I'm still going to be spending money to build this, but just in case you weren't aware, in Aircraft CEO, there is a button you can press, F10, and it will open this menu, which is the development panel. Something I'm going to be doing in this development panel is turning off this option right here. We are not going to be simulating construction, because all that's going to happen is I'm going to spend the next hour sitting and building something and designing it, and then I'm going to just sit and stare at the screen for 3 hours while my contractors start putting it together. Basically, turning off simulated construction means that I could go in here with some terminal and it's built. I don't have to wait for contractors. I'm okay with doing this at this stage of the game because how many times over? 4 times over now we have built aircraft terminals by just sitting and waiting. I don't, especially for a large terminal, I don't look. This terminal, I sat around waiting so long for this one to be built. All right, I am ever so slightly making excuses, but also this is kind of a tradition at this point. We've done this a few times over with Airport CEO. It just makes life a little easier, especially when you have the map all unlocked and you're doing stuff anywhere. You know what? Let's wait until morning and then let's get to work on a large international aircraft terminal. All right, so even though we don't need to use planning mode, I'm going to go ahead and use planning mode for this because it's going to make my life a little bit easier, and it means that we're potentially not wasting money with this whole thing. So what we're going to do is start about here and just run the entire way across here, because my thinking for this is that I want to have 8 large aircraft stands. That's my goal for this, is I want 8 of them. I want 4 on either side. Basically, I'm going to try and recreate this. I want a bunch of airline lounges. I want a bunch of good things. I want a bunch of bathrooms. I want shops, all that good stuff on the or in the concourse with the planes on either side. So the way we're going to look at this is by going in and getting ourselves some large concrete pads, right? What's the word I'm looking for? Stands. Aircraft stands is the word I'm looking for. Now my thinking for this is we're just going to go, I want to say right here is probably going to be fine. We'll go 1 and 2. We'll go 3 and 4. And then I kind of want to measure what size this is just over here. So this is, what is that? 10 by whatever. I think over on this side, we can maybe go, oh, now hold on a minute. These guys are going to be using, actually, no, this will work. We can put our baggage handling underground again, or on the ground floor again. So I suppose what we're going to do here is go 12 across. So we'll have a little bit more room for seating in here because there are going to be more people. This might not be enough space, but I'm willing to bet that it'll be just fine. So we can go up here and do the next floor. This is where all of the people are going to be actually departing from. And then I guess we don't really need this whole part because we're not going to have people sort of coming down here. We're also not going to have a separate sort of international zone. This whole terminal is going to be international. So we could move our international check into the whole security process. But what I'm thinking is bigger planes, more people. We probably want to make sure that we have enough room for the larger security stands, because I don't think we've been using them yet. In the meantime, though, we will go ahead and get the next 4 stands just on the right side here. And that's going to be a lot. That is going to be a lot. I think we'll do the taxiways just while we're here as well. So they are going to be, I guess, 7 by 7 right there. We'll do the same thing right here. We actually have a little bit of room to play with on this, which is absolutely fantastic, because I'm sort of considering having sort of 2 loops here so that the planes kind of come in on this side and then loop around to get back out. So a plane leaving here isn't going to be held up by a plane coming into here. So this might actually work out. This might be a little bit extra. It might not necessarily be something we need, but I don't really want to delay the large planes all that much. So this might be worth doing. And I realize this is a video, so I can probably show you what I'm talking about instead of just telling you what I'm talking about. Quite simply, I want to put a little bit of a buffer in there, and then we're going to have a gap of 2 between the taxiways coming in and the planes, the aircraft stands. Basically, planes come in here, and then they would go out down this way. So we would kind of have this loop going on. The plane comes in this way, it exits that way. It means that the planes departing aren't held up by the planes coming in, which would mean that this probably isn't necessary. Well, it could be. What if we did, how do I want to do this? Do I want to just let them cut across? I suppose I could do that. I could just say you use a taxi out this way and go down instead of having to go up and around. That might be the better way of doing this. I think that is what we're going to do. I think that's going to be a little bit easier. So we're going to have 18 by 7 as this entire measurement right here. And basically we're just going to do the same thing on this side. This is, again, probably a little bit extra, probably not needed since we don't have that many large planes coming through. But I think since we're kind of at the point where we can basically do whatever we want to do, I'm sort of okay spending the extra bit of money to make this happen. And if it makes things a bit more efficient, then good. That's the whole point. So I suppose with this done, I can go in here and say that this, for example, is for arrivals only, and it's one way. So the planes are just going in this way, and that should be fine. This over here is going to be for departures only, and it's one way out, which again should be fine. We can probably do the same thing in saying that this part is arrivals only going one way. And this is the two-way part. This part right here should be just fine. So basically, we're just going to go along this entire thing and make sure the entire thing is set up in such a way that the only planes using the right side here are arrivals, and the only planes using the left side are departures. And then in theory, if I do everything right, we're going to be fine, in theory. Now, on the right side, I'm not 100% sure that doing it this way is going to be quite as efficient, because the arrivals are still going to have to sort of cut across here. But I think having some dedicated space for everybody to sort of do what they have to do is still going to be better. So I'm going to stick with the idea that the arrivals are on the right side, departures are on the left side, and that's hopefully still going to work. I mean, it's still admittedly only 4 planes per side. This really shouldn't be too much of an issue, but I want it to look cool. And I kind of like the details on this. I like having the markings on the taxiways. It's kind of like putting decals in city skylines. So, you know, I like my detailing. If you've been around the channel for a while, I mean, yes, we haven't done cities in a while, but if you've been around the channel for a while, you know I like my detailing. So this really shouldn't be too much of a surprise to anybody. What we can do here is make sure that this is one way and this is departures, and then this is one way in, and this is arrivals. So that should be all of the markings done, which is great. We have room down here for what is eventually going to be our baggage handling. We could probably do some security down here as well if we need to, but I'm hoping we don't need to, because ideally we're going to have a terminal up here. Essentially, that's the goal. That's the plan. That's what we're here to do. So let me just take out all of this, and let me replace it with some kind of terminal space. Now the front of this terminal is up here, so it is whatever by 15. So in this case, it's going to be 12 by 15. And then did I just build that, or is that, did I just build that? I did just build that. You know what? That's fine. That's totally fine. I mean, we have the sandbox thing for a reason, the lack of simulated construction. That's totally fine. This is basically probably big enough for most of what we want, but I do want to cover the taxiways down here. So I'm just going to give myself a huge amount of space to play with, because like I said, we are going to be wanting passport control. We are going to be wanting some pretty sizable security. So this is about as wide and as tall as I'm willing to have this terminal be. And that's totally fine. And I suppose now is as good a time as any just to build the entire thing, which cost just shy of $5 million. So we're already in here with a pretty substantial investment in this thing. I'm kind of hoping it's all gonna be worth it. I'm kind of hoping we can get a good number of good planes into this entire thing. And I suppose we're gonna want to bring some vehicles over here as well. So let's just bring a little section of road over to here and to here. And then I think what we'll do is bring some service roads down the middle of the taxiways. That seems like kind of a cool place for those. We'll do the same thing over on the other side as well, going all the way up to there. And that gives us a little bit of green space. It gives us some cool places for the service vehicles to go. It gives us access to all of the aircraft stands, which I suppose we should give some jetways to, just to get that out of the way. Oh, you know what I've just realized? We need a hangar. So we might only have 7 large aircraft stands, because my thinking is that it might not be a terrible idea to go in here, turn this, first off, turn all of these off. Hold on a second. That's, no. They need to not be switched on right now, because the second I get things connected, I don't need some large planes coming in here. I do want to bulldoze you though, because my thinking is that a large aircraft hangar could go, that is not a large aircraft hangar, that is a large aircraft hangar. It can live right there. And it does so pretty well. It fits in kind of perfectly. I mean, yes, we're losing a bit of commercial capacity with this thing, but this gives us room down here for seating, shops, restaurants, staff rooms, a lounge, whatever we want down there can live down there. And then what we can do is just go and put something underneath the hangar so it kind of blends everything together. So we'll just do, I don't know, can I not do this? Oh, wow. Apparently I can't put concrete tiles under a hangar. I didn't know that. Either way, this will work, which is great. It has a connection to the taxiway down here, which is fine. If a plane has an emergency over here, it can taxi out. It can go back. That is something it'll be able to do. Whether or not it will do that is something I'm not too sure about, because I'm realizing I need to put these, or this needs to exist, and so does this. And I guess what we want to say is that anything beyond this point right here is one way and arrivals only. And then anything going down here is also kind of a one-way thing. This should work. This should mean that planes can sort of taxi down here and head out. But if they need to go back, they can sort of cut back here and then just go sort of, you know, snake up that way. It's not really, the airport isn't really built for planes to sort of go backwards in this taxiway, but if they need to, they can. What I'm realizing would have made more sense was to get rid of this. Do I want to do that? It would have made more sense to get rid of this guy instead of putting the hangar on the right side, but that would have given us what do you call it? A jetway down here at the bottom with a big gap between them. This works better. This is good for my design brain to, it's more satisfying for me is what I'm getting at. So when it comes to the entrance to this particular part of the airport, we're just going to do something like this right in the middle, which I'm completely fine with. And then I'd like to go in and just take out, I don't know, some parts of this. So we'll say like 5 big chunks right there. We'll do 5 big chunks over on the right side as well. And that is basically going to mean that a lot of this is probably going to go away as well, I think. I might be wrong on that. Hold on. Maybe we do. We'll do a lot of. We'll get rid of all of that. We'll do 4 right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll get rid of all of you. And that gives us our entrance. It gives us room for seating. It gives us room for check-in, which is most likely largely going to end up being some kind of self-check-in, but that's completely fine. In fact, I think that's something we should just deal with right now is getting a check-in area in here. Now, I would like a decent amount of room for queues on this, even though they're probably not going to be used all that much, which is, it just hurts me deep down. But that's okay. 1, 2, 3. In fact, you know what? No, get rid of those guys. Let's do the queue on this first, because then I can just copy and paste it and instantly have all the queue I could ever need. So this queue is going to go all the way back to about there. That is very close to the entrance, but honestly, I'm kind of okay with that. Although maybe it would make more sense just to shuffle this back a little bit. So maybe back to there would be a better spot. We have got the room and we do have the technology. So you know what? We'll go back to there. Just give a little bit more room between the entrance and the start of the queues. Not that that's always the case. I've been in some airports. I mean, Belfast International, the actual real Belfast International, you go into the departures part, like the departing passengers thing into check-in, and like you're through a door, you've got like, I don't know, 15, 20 feet before you get to another door, and then you're in the big check-in hole. So that's, at least I think that's, pretty sure that's how it is. It's been renovated in the last year or two, so it might be slightly different these days, but regardless, that's basically how it is. I know that, I want to say Edinburgh Airport, I think, has, like, you go through a door and you're basically in this part. It's like maybe, I don't know, 30 feet from the door to like the start of the queues. And then there's like a big space you can walk left and right on up to some escalators. I might be thinking of a different airport. I know Dublin Airport has a part like that as well. So my point being, sometimes queues are very close to the doors. In this case, they're not necessarily going to be. This is the space that we're dealing with between the queues and the doors. That's, yeah. Airports, man, they have different, they have different designs. Who knew? Not this guy. Let's do some info desk stuff right in the middle there. That seems like a great idea. This is going to be complaining about not having staff assigned to a terminal area now, isn't it? Oh boy. Okay. Well, I'm not really super concerned about terminal areas right now, but I guess it wouldn't hurt to go in here and just bring something right up to the road, since that's kind of the that's kind of where this terminal is going to be going. So right up to about there should be totally fine. And then we'll just bring something that goes all the way down to the bottom of the service road right to about there. And that should cover just about everything in there. We don't have employees in here, but that's okay. I'm not super worried about that. I think what I'd like to do is, man, I want to figure out security is what I'd like to do. I'm not 100% sure. I think we are going to end up copying the passport stuff that we did over here. I think it is going to be upstairs. I think the only stuff that's largely going to be downstairs here is check-in, which is going to have like this manual part, and then a self check-in part, and then I guess security, maybe some shops. I don't really want to do shops on this side of this airport, but maybe. So I guess what we'll do is come over this way, and this is where I'm going to do some self backdrop stuff. So we can do, oh, how far back do I want to go from the doors up there? I think about here is totally fine. We can leave this gap in here because, again, that's, in fact, we don't need to leave that gap in there. Ooh. Do I want to leave that gap in there? We can do a gap of 1 with these guys, but I'd probably have to orient them this way, which might be okay. I'm not against having them sort of oriented this way. I guess that's fine. I guess that's totally okay. We'll bring them down a little bit for that though. So we're going to go, I want to say here, and we'll do like 6 of them facing that way. We'll do 6 of them facing this way. So that's 12 of them. We're going to have 12 on the other side as well. But the reason I want to do this is because I can then go in with the self check-in kiosks, which are going to live You know what? I'm just going to make this as small and cramped as I possibly can, because I think ultimately there are going to be so many people going through here that, well, it's, I guess there's so many people going through. We have a lot of space to play with here. I could spread these out. I just don't think I need to. I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think it's going to make a difference. I think this is going to be just an absolute nightmare of people regardless of what I do. So this is what we're going to do. This is just how we're going to do it. We'll put some walls in here though, because I can sort of enclose those guys. We can do a little something here to enclose these guys as well, which I think is for the best. And then you sort of come in here, you go around, you can go over to check-in that way. You can go to self-check-in here if that's a thing you want to do. And then all I need to do is copy and paste this entire thing over to be in front of those other doors, which is going to be, I want to say right about there, I think. Yeah, right about there is what we're looking for. Also, all of these guys need to be turned off. I don't want any of them to be up and running right now. So I suppose the next thing to do with this is start chipping away at more of the terminal, because we're most likely not going to be needing all of this to begin with, and we're not going to be needing all of this either. We are most likely not going to be needing most of this as well, but before I go ahead and take all of that out, I do need to figure out where the security spaces are going to be, and I need to figure out where baggage handling is going to be as well. So let's start putting some walls around a little bit more of what we have going on in here. I think I'm going to do a wall right to about there. And the same thing on the other side. This entire space back here can be a staff area. We can do some doors on the sides so staff can get through, which is always important. And then we have this area here that I sort of want to play with a little bit. I think we can do something like this. I think we can do something like this. And I want to say this is kind of where people are going to be funneled to get to security. So we can go and actually copy and paste these chairs. I'm not against doing some more of them in here. I don't think that's a bad idea at all to get some more chairs into that space, because I do think we're going to end up needing them. We can do the same thing over here as well. And I think just while we're doing this, let's try to build this and sort of mirror what we're doing as we go. And I'm already seeing that this space might be great for baggage claim, potentially, depending on, you know, what we do with it. More than likely it's going to be like up here, but that's got some potential right there. I'm also realizing that I should be building in such a way that I'm kind of following the larger grid lines, because otherwise I'm creating a lot of trouble for myself, which I don't love doing. I think security should be upstairs. I think it's going to be easier if we have security upstairs, but then how do I funnel people around? How do people get out is the real question. I mean, ultimately they have to go upstairs anyway, because we're going up here to the international checkpoint. So maybe we do just funnel them into like some elevator thing here, and then they come back down a different elevator. Oh, I hadn't thought about this. I had not thought about this. That slightly complicates things. How would I do this? Can I do, maybe security should be, oh man, how did I do it on the other side? How have I done it over here? Security is here, and then the international part is through these elevators, and it's sort of like you come in here. No, you come in this elevator, you go through the checkpoint into the international zone, you go out these, and then out this elevator. Okay. So we're dividing the international part upstairs, and we have different elevators, but how is that going to work for security in this situation? Unless I just do a big security wing with a passport check on one side, a big security wing with a passport check on the other side, and then one big passport exit thing in the middle. Again, I'm saying what I could do instead of just doing it, but I think I might be onto something with this one. Maybe. Maybe. Okay, let's start playing with some elevators a little bit. So this one right here, my thinking is this is going to be our exit, right? So that means that people are going to need to go through passport checks here. So they're going to be queuing up this way, and then they sort of come down and around. I would be willing to do multiple elevators just because I think that's going to look better. So we'll do 3 because I think that's going to be kind of cool. And if we say that this is our secure zone, that means that this is also going to be a secure zone. So the elevators stop complaining for a second. That would mean that this is also going to be an international zone, which obviously doesn't have passport checkpoints right now, but that's okay. Which would mean that the automated passport checkpoints would live here, which I can set a queue for that goes all the way up to here. And then if I copy and paste that across, that is hopefully going to be enough to essentially fill all of this space with passport checkpoints. And that's how people are going to get out of this internet. This is probably a bit, I don't know about this. I'm not 100% convinced by what I'm doing right here, but that's the way out. You feed into these elevators, you get fed into this space down here. This space down here then needs to feed around to some baggage claim areas, which just backs up my claim that I think realistically what we need to do is have our security stuff upstairs. So let me build another chunk of terminal. I didn't really think I'd need to do this, but we're going to do this. And I think this will kind of work. I think this will be okay, because I think we can play around with elevators a little bit just here again. I think this will be kind of cool. So that's 2 elevators up on that side. That's 2 elevators up on that side. And those are going to connect up to these spaces, which I'm totally fine with. Do I want to do stairs? That's another question, because I could do stairs on this side. I feel like I'm cheating with elevators because this game essentially treats them like stairs. No one has to wait for them to go up and down. So I think we'll just stick with elevators. I think that's going to be the easiest way to do this. And so what we can do, because we're going to be limited on space here, is I'm going to just start kind of blocking out. I'm going to start blocking out some paths that people can follow. And I'm very specifically following these darker lines that we have here. Although, how am I going to do it over here? That's going to get very narrow in a couple of places, but honestly, that's fine. Because this is going to, it gets very narrow on that side. Good Lord. Okay. We're not going to be following it quite as strictly over here, and that's okay. My thinking for this is this might actually end up being our baggage claim area now that I look at it. Which would be kind of cool, actually. And then we just maybe feed people out into some space up here. I don't really know. This will probably be baggage claim, though. This can come over as well. How do I want to do this? So I think what I can do is actually bring a wall straight down here. I know that's going to double up some of the wall on the self-check-in, but honestly, I'm okay with that. I actually like the idea of this being baggage claim, because what I can do is turn this into like a little corridor, and this is a way for people to get out. They can just sort of leave that way, or we can put a door here so they can get back into the main terminal. And then that means that everything else is kind of access. In fact, that works perfectly. Oh, I like that a lot. Very, very happy with this. So all of this can go. None of this is needed. Yes, that means that the taxiways and the service roads are kind of exposed to the elements a little bit from the front, but this is, assuming it works, relatively compact. And what's also cool is none of this is needed either. This can all go, but I think this will end up being staff rooms just because it makes my life a little bit easier. And so basically this is what we're looking at for our security exit. You come down these elevators, you exit into baggage claim right here. If you're not getting bags, you go straight through and you can exit the airport just up this way. So basically there will be a door right there. We can do a door right there, and then we'll do a large door that's going to bring you back into the departures area. Now the arrival, whatever, the check-in area. So if you're catching another flight or whatever you're doing, you can just loop straight back in here. The only thing I'm realizing I forgot for this area is some kind of bathroom. But admittedly, I could just build a little bit of terminal over here on the side and just have a little extension that happens to be a bathroom. So I don't think that's the end of the world by any means. I think we can manage. I think we'll be all right. All right, so this is what we're dealing with at the moment. Basically, you go into one of these two elevators or one of these two elevators, you go upstairs, you wrap around here, you pick one of 5 security terminals on this side or 5 checkpoints on this side, you go through those into one of 12 passport control checkpoint things on this side or one of 12 on this side. I don't know how many there are to get out of here, but I want to say that's probably going to be enough. And then it all feeds. So these guys come in here and down. These guys come in here and down. And then to get out, you're sort of going through that whole middle part there, which is totally fine. In fact, I think it would be a little bit more interesting if we kind of funnel these guys around a little bit more so that the exit, you basically go here and then you can go left or right. It all goes to the same place. I think that's going to be a little bit better for everything that we're doing here. I think that's it's a very big I think, but I think that's going to be better. So all of these guys kind of exit that way. These guys come in that way. That should be fine. That should be totally fine. That gives us all of this space to play with now, which is great. And then downstairs, we do have some extra space that I don't love. I'm not super worried about that because what we can ultimately do is have a little bit of fun with baggage and all that good stuff. So we'll take out this wall, and then I'm thinking I'm going to take out these bits of wall as well because I can bring some baggage cars into the building, which is always a nice time. In fact, what I can also do is actually put some of these guys. I'm going to go for the darker roads in here so I can really see them, but I can do this as a means for these guys to now get sort of across here without having to go the entire way down and around. That might actually be really, really useful for us. And honestly, I think it looks pretty cool. Now, with that done, I do want to bring over the same baggage security thing that we've had this entire time. I know this thing isn't super efficient. I've seen a few comments talking about looking up guides on how to better do baggage security. This is working okay for what it is. And at this stage of the game, I'm kind of willing to allow it to just continue to be what it is. I know it's not a secure area. I need to redo that is what I need to do. That needs to be in a secure zone. In fact, this entire space down here needs to be one big secure and staff zone. So very quickly, let's fill all of this in as nice and secure, which it is now. But yeah, I've seen a few comments talking about looking up different guides for a couple of different things. I will do that when this series is done. And the reason I'm doing it that way is because, as I said at the start of this series, this is more than likely, and I say more than likely because I don't want to... I said it was more than likely. I said it was going to be the last time we play this game on the channel, is what I said. I'm not going back on that. I'm not sitting here like, oh man, we're going to do this again next year. It's not something like that. It's not going to be a yearly promised thing. It has been for a while, but that's not what I'm getting at. Why is that? Wait, did I put the wrong escalator? I think I put the wrong escalator in there. We want a high-speed escalator going up is what we want. So right about there is what we're looking for, and that is totally fine. This is then going out to baggage, essentially. What I'm getting at, though, to be very simple about it, is the chance that in 5 years' time, 6 years' time, I'm like, you know what I feel like doing? I feel like having a nostalgia trip. Let's play Airport CEO again. That's kind of where this game is going to be relegated to once this series is done. And it's not because it's bad. It's not because I don't enjoy it, but it's because I feel like I've essentially done everything there is to do without just going and looking at guides. And I have nothing against guides. It's not that I'm not saying there's anything wrong with looking at guides. It's just that from like a, if we want to talk shop a little bit, from like a content creation point of view, I feel it's better for me to just sort of do my own thing. I feel it's better for me to sort of mess around and make mistakes and just have a bit of dumb fun with this game. And then eventually I'll, when we're done with it from a content point of view, I'll go look up guides and find out all the optimal stuff. Because ultimately a guide is written by somebody else, right? A guide is I'm going to zigzag this back and forth just because I can. A guide is someone else's optimal way of playing this game or any game. And I was going to say in a way it's someone else's content, but it is someone else's content. So I don't want to just like, I don't want to parrot someone else's guide, because I'm just kind of taking their thing and making it in a video. It's like those guys, I don't know. We could really start talking about YouTube as a whole with that, because there's a lot of that goes on. A lot of YouTube shorts are just like, I heard this thing on another channel and I'm going to regurgitate it. It's like, hey, you can copy my homework, but change the words, right? That's basically like what a lot of YouTube channels do these days. That's not exactly what people have been suggesting with guides. I know it's not that deep, and I know it's been from a good place, and it's like, hey man, your security could be a little bit better. There's some guides out there that'll help you out. I know it's that simple, right? It's no deeper than that. I don't know. I want this to be my own thing. If it's my last time doing this as a series, I want it to just be my own thing. And this right here is very much my own thing. This is very, very unnecessary, but I'm going to have so much fun looking at that little zigzag when it comes to bags just coming and going around this airport. It's going to be a really good time. Now, what I think we will do is start kind of planning where our baggage claim stuff is going to go. So bags are going to come in this way. They're going to go up this way. They're going to go out to here one way or another. And then on this side, it's kind of the same thing. They're going to go up to here and then out there, and we'll figure out exactly where baggage claim is going to be. This is just going to be really fun to look at. I'm really looking forward to bags coming through here. It's going to look great. It's going to look great is what it's going to do. Very, very excited about this. But that's the bags coming off the planes. The bags going onto the planes are sorted out already, which is great. Does that mean I can connect this guy to stuff? I guess not. We do need to get a baggage claim area in here, and we'll get another one just in here. And then can this be connected to that baggage bay? You can be connected to that baggage bay. And then you guys need to be connected to baggage bays as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to baggage bay number 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 to baggage bay number 2. And then the same story with these guys. These all need to go to baggage bay number 1. So we'll start with you, and we just shift click each and every one of these down to baggage bay number 1, and then shift click each and every one of these guys, if I can do it properly, down to baggage bay number 2. And the tilt trays that we have on this entire thing should be totally fine. So you guys, the stands on the left here can go to baggage bay number 1. The stands on the right can go to baggage bay number 2, and that should be totally fine. We have 4 stands connected to you. We have 3 connected to you. In theory, this whole thing could get up and running now. In theory. That's a very big theory, but we could get this whole thing up and running. Okay, so slight correction. I was a little bit wrong and a little bit ahead of myself. We still need to put in the boarding desks, which in this case will be a bunch of self-boarding gates, as is tradition at this point. I'm not too sure how many of these we need. I want to say more than 4. I want to say probably not more than 6. So I think that's kind of what we're going to go for there. And then what I'd like to do is just try and decorate this space as best I possibly can, because obviously we're kind of going to want to copy and paste this the entire way down. Now, this is how I did it over on this side. And this is fine. This is, I don't know what distance that necessarily is. That is 14. And it is directly from the wall. It absolutely is. So people getting off the plane go through those gates. That's actually not, I mean, I don't love that they do that, but I'm also not against them doing that. So maybe it would be a better idea to copy and paste these and move them as close to the gate as we can get them, which is there. I don't know if I love that. I think about there is fine though. So they're much closer. Get rid of these guys and then we'll just do the hedges. In this case, 14 is probably not enough. We'll go about 19 and then 19 on this side would be to there. So that gives us a very narrow sort of corridor in the middle. If I did 15, that might be better, but I think I'm going to stick with the 19 for now. I think that's going to be our boarding space, which means that on either side of this guy, we need a bunch of seats. In this case, I think what we'll do is just really pack people in here. There's going to be a lot of people on these flights. It might not be a bad idea to sort of space these out just a little bit more, just something like this, so that they can kind of get down around the chairs. And then I think we do the same thing on the bottom side. And then a little single row of seats against the wall, or what's probably going to be a window. And then I think that's probably enough. I'm not 100% sure, but we are going to have more seating in here anyway, so that should be fine. And if it isn't enough, then obviously we can come along and do something about it. But for now, what I would like to do is this, and then I'd like to do the same thing just down here. The same thing down to this guy as well, down on this one as well. And then we have one left after you, which is this one right about here. So that gives us this sort of corridor in the middle, gives us room for shops and bathrooms, which is all fantastic. We don't have any ground connections to this terminal right now, which, yeah, that makes sense. That checks out. Okay. We have a lot of traffic up in that top road. That's not ideal. we can probably do something about that, is what we can do. I think we'll bring this road just the entire way over. Do I want to just do another world tunnel? I suppose I could, if I really wanted to, do another world entrance tunnel. I think that road goes that way, right? Yeah. We could do another road tunnel there. I don't think it would hurt to have a little something here as another way in and out. So sure, let's get ourselves another world entrance tunnel over on this side of things and see if that just helps with a little bit of the traffic. Now, what I suppose we should do is start looking at getting some fences between these terminals so that people can't just walk out to where the planes are. So a fence right there is going to be for the best. And then I guess a fence right here can just run all the way out to about there. Now, this space is probably going to be enough for a helicopter terminal, which is still something I'd like to do. That's obviously not going to be a today thing, but that is definitely a little something that we can work on in the not too distant future. And I'm also going to say that we're probably not going to be detailing this new terminal today either. I'm trying to get away from having episodes of this series that are, like an hour or 20 long. So we'll get this thing up and running today, but the detailing can be in the next episode. The little final touches can be in the next episode. Probably going to be including some airline lounges in that as well. And then after that, we don't have much else to do other than a helicopter terminal, and that's probably about it at that point. Okay, so now I think this thing is pretty much good to go. Obviously, we are lacking in the bathroom department across the board. We are lacking in shops, in anything fancy whatsoever, but honestly, I'm okay with that for now. I'm not super concerned about it because we're very low on money. 3.5 million is the lowest we have been in a very, very long time, but that's okay. We can work with that. We can make that work. What we are going to need to do is come in here and just get some vehicle depots. I think those are going to be really, really important. So one right here and one right here. I'm going to do one here and here as well. And I'm assuming we're not going to need more than those. I think that'll be hopefully enough for what we're trying to do here. Let's go ahead and just get some concrete underneath all of them, so they're kind of nicely sitting there. And then what we need are 7 giant pushback trucks. We need 7 baggage carts. We need 7 of the large baggage ramp things. So we'll go in here and purchase vehicles. We'll turn off all the filters, and we need to start with 7 of you guys. And they're not going to be assigned to terminals right away, which is completely fine. So 7 of you is great. I'm going to say we grab another couple of catering trucks, maybe 4 cabin cleaning. De-icing. I didn't think about de-icing for the large planes. Oh no. We'll deal with that. That's a future me problem is what that is. Let's do 7 of these large trucks with the roof, and let's do 7 large belt loaders as well. I don't think we need anything else for that. At least I might be wrong in saying that we don't need anything else for that, but I don't think we need anything else. I just need my 7 carts with the roof on them. So there's one right there. It's going down here. We want to grab another one right there, which is going to this guy. We want to grab, I think that one's already assigned, right? Yeah. I might be assigning, I might be messing this up already. I don't know. It's gonna be a little bit messy, but it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be worth it. This mess is gonna be worth it. I might want to grab another couple of these guys to just roam around. Although we do have some roaming around, so we should be all right. Oh no, this is interesting. The vehicles seem to be having some rendering problems, which is not ideal, but we do have all the vehicles coming out here that I would want. So I guess that's fine. I mean, it means that the planes will work in theory. There's one of the ramps going out, which is great. We've got the pushback trucks going out. We probably have some baggage carts around there somewhere as well, which is totally fine. So now I think we can start to slowly open these things. I don't want to open the stands yet. But in theory, I think I can start to open everything else, right? I think I can start to open all of these guys if I'm not wrong in that theory. So if we just shift click on all of them properly this time, I can open those, which is great. That hasn't opened the stands though, which is fine. These guys can also all be opened up, which should slowly start to bring things together. The baggage bay is connected, of course, which is fine. These guys are all enabled now as well. And then over here, it is the same story. All of these, we shift click and we turn them on. So that means that all of this is now operational. The stands are still disabled though, so we don't have to worry about those. I just want to make sure that the stands are not running. That will be the worst thing to happen right now because we have no staff in here, despite the fact that we do have a lot of taxis coming through and a lot of people coming through. But I mean, traffic's moving, which is great. It's not crazy busy. So we've got that going for us. All right. So according to the terminal overlay, we have enough employees in here. I'm not sure that I believe that, but I'm going to trust it. It's what I'm going to do, because I really want to get this place open. I want to see some planes coming in here, and I just want to see how chaotic this is going to be, because we are running out of money is what we're doing. We're running out of money. So we're going to just have some international flights in here, which is fine. All airlines for now. And we're going to open things. Arrival runway not connected. I don't know about that. That's why is everyone, what? That's why we're losing money. The entire airport has stopped working, and I am not sure why the entire airport has stopped working. What have I done? What have I done here? So that is departure only. That's why. That's why. That's the problem. I think I might be wrong. Yeah, that's everything opening up again. That's why we were losing so much money. Oh my God, this entire time I've been building. This entire time, the airport hasn't been functioning. Oh, that explains so much. That explains so much. So much. Okay. Wait, there's this yeah, close the stand, reopen the stand. I'm not sure why these guys are complaining about no arrival. Have I got these backwards? Hold on. Arrival only. Departure, oh, there's why. Arrivals. Wait, no, departures, arrivals only. That should be fine. This one is arrivals only as well. Okay, we're good. We are good. Man. Oh, what a thing. Okay, that's gonna be one way going that way. This should technically only be for large aircraft right here, because that is only for large aircraft that want to circle around. So let me have a look at my large aircraft stands and see how we're doing. There's nothing scheduled for them right now, which is fine. That's slightly worrying, but I'm sure we'll manage. I'm sure we'll get something in here. I'm sure this will all be up and running in no time. In the meantime, let's start doing our usual thing with, I guess the black tiles in security. I'm gonna have to do a lot of detailing in here at some point, but that's okay. We'll get there. For the time being, I just need to acknowledge the fact that I'm an idiot. Cannot believe I messed up. And that's how we're running out of money right now, is the fact that the runways just weren't working. I also realized this is a bathroom right here. So while we're here, let's start putting some bathrooms in here, because that seems like a really good idea for a way to make everybody happy. We'll also take out some of the toilets because we can do a bunch of sinks in there, and that should be great. We'll just do a ton of them, just an absolute ton of them through here. We'll get ourselves some sinks for this wall and sinks for this wall as well. Unfortunately, this is mirrored and not rotational, so we're gonna have to do all this manually on this side as well. Oh, now this is exciting. We have our first large flight scheduled to land here at 6:30 p.m. and it's a Concorde. That's pretty cool. The first flight we have landing at the terminal is going to be a Concorde. I'm very excited about that. We have passengers coming through already, which is great. It looks like they're all heading over to the self check-in, which is about what I expected to happen. That's fine. I do want to just keep an eye on these guys and make sure that everything sort of flows the way I would like it to. So they're going up here. They're going around to security. They're funneling through security by the looks of it, which is great. You are now through. You now go into passport, which is great. And then you funnel down this way, which is great. So they are doing exactly what I hoped they would do. Baggage. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited for this, man. I'm so keen. We have more large flights coming in later on as well. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. Very much looking forward to seeing this place fill up a little bit. I'm so excited. I also kind of want to see the Concorde come in here. That's going to be very cool. I do think that these runways are going to be terribly busy, but to be fair, the large flights do stay on the ground for a fair bit longer, so they're not going out all the time. We should be all right. We should have a Concorde coming in here any second now. It's late, which is slightly worrying, but I'm sure. There it is. Oh, I love it. Love it so much. It's such a beautiful plane. Oh, it's such a beautiful plane. I saw one of these once. Just once. I saw one of these. It was very, very cool. Where are you going? Oh, you're going down. That's not quite what I want you doing, but okay. It's going to loop up into here, which is great. Going all the way to the top, which is great. We have a little baggage car down here collecting the bags. That's okay. We don't have a ramp agent on the stand, which is concerning. What are you guys complaining about? Can't reach their job site. Where are you trying to go? You're trying to get down there. Interesting. Do I need to put Do I need to put like a door for those guys to get out there? I probably do, right? So like do I want to do like a door here, like directly opposite the nose of the plane as it comes in, and then make sure that's all set up as a secure and staff area so that they can actually get out to the plane? I'm not 100% sure if this is necessary, but it would make sense because there's absolutely zero other way for ramp agents to get out to the planes, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking here. So let's make sure that this is all, yep, all part of the same zone. And you guys are moving out of the planes. Okay. That is good. There's the bags coming off the plane as well, which is what we want to see. We should have, and we do have. Look at you. I'm so excited about this. Oh, I'm so excited about this. It's so good. It's so good. How busy are we looking? Oh, we got the double jetway going out as well. That's amazing. Are you all stuck? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That might be a problem. Are there people stuck up here as well? They absolutely are. Interesting. Is it because... Is it the international zone that we're missing, or is it the secure zone that we're missing? Let's make sure that all of the walls are actually part of the secure zone to start with, which they now should be. The game's being a bit weird about it, but that's okay. You guys still can't get out of there. So let's make sure that the secure zone, or the international zone, is covering the entire thing as well. So down to about there. And the game's, again, being a bit weird about it, but that's all right. Can you guys... There we go. Okay. So now they can all get out of there. The Concorde not carrying that many people. That other plane carrying quite a few people. Oh, wow. I'm so excited about this. I love this so much. I know that there's so much missing from this terminal, but look at this. Oh, they're feeding through here exactly how I want them to. They're sort of going left and right as they need to. We get some of them coming back around, which is interesting. I am very happy with this. I think it's a very, very cool setup that we have going on. Obviously, we kind of want more planes coming through, which, are we going to have that tomorrow? We have Nordic. That's kind of cool. It's a 787, which is, I mean, how many people are we talking on the Nordic 787? We're talking 156. Okay. The Zoom Concorde was 98. This one is 219. This one's 323. Wow. Okay. That's a lot. If we start getting those regularly, it's going to be amazing. It also looks like all of my taxiing setup here is working the way I would want it to. Obviously, some planes give way to others here and there, and that's okay. We do have a little bit of a tailback here, which is honestly okay as well. Looking over this way, we have a big plane coming through here, which I would prefer they didn't do that, but it's not the end of the world. This guy, once it's done, should head straight across, which would be absolutely perfect, and that would mean that everything is doing what I need it to do. So let's just take a look and make sure that you are going to turn around. That's, yep, I'm sure that was pleasant for the passengers. It is going to wait, which is honestly completely fine. It's going to wait for some of these guys to cross, not the end of the world whatsoever. And it just goes straight across and then taxis down here the way everything else does. That is so good. It's so good. I love this setup that we have going on, and I'm so excited to get some more planes in here. I would imagine that my reputation has taken a bit of a hit after, yeah, Nordic isn't interested in working with me at all. In fact, yeah, even the small, oh man. Yeah, the airlines are not happy with me. I mean, I didn't understand why they were upset with me in the last episode. I didn't really get it. I do get it this time. I'm the airport just wasn't working for a couple of days there because of some paint that was the wrong way around. It's that simple. Oh, now this is interesting. Something I'm noticing is that, and I assume this is to do with that one setting that I changed. We are getting a lot of domestic, large flights here, but it seems, yeah, the stand only accepts international flights, which is very interesting. That's also curious because, oh, it's going for the Falkland Islands. Okay, yeah, domestic, fair enough. That's, yeah, okay. So they are old, the Falkland Islands. That's, yeah, sure. Yeah, that complicates things a little bit. Okay, Air is, oh man, are they old? Are they old doing this? We'll figure it out. We'll start getting some offers for different routes, I'm sure. At the very least, we have the large aircraft starting to come through, which is great. We can get some helicopters in the not too distant future, but I think for now, we can go ahead and leave it there. I think we've managed to get a pretty cool thing built here. It obviously needs some details. We can do that in the next episode, but I'm excited. We have large aircraft. We are making money again. I can't believe I shut down the airport for a day or two there, but everything's fine. We'll not worry too much about it. Either way, thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.